The moment you truly surrender to God, everything changes. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Instantly. But most people never experience this because they think they've surrendered when they actually haven't. They're still holding on. Still controlling. Still resisting. In the next 25 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what happens the moment you truly let go and surrender everything to God. And I'm warning you, number 7 is so powerful that it will make you want to surrender right now, today, in this moment. By the end of this video, you'll understand why surrender isn't giving up. It's giving into something greater. And that changes everything. Let's begin. Before we talk about what happens when you surrender to God, let me clear up the biggest misconception about surrender. Most people think surrender means weakness. They think it means quitting, being passive, or letting life happen to you. That's not surrender. That's defeat. True surrender to God is the opposite of weakness. It's the ultimate act of strength, wisdom, and faith. It's saying, God, I trust you more than I trust myself. I believe your plan is better than mine. I release my grip on control and give you full access to my life. Surrender doesn't mean you stop trying. It means you stop forcing. It doesn't mean you stop working. It means you stop worrying. It doesn't mean you have no plans. It means your plans are flexible and submitted to God's will. The Bible says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. That's surrender. Acknowledging that God's wisdom is greater than yours. His timing is better than yours. His plans are higher than yours. Here's what most people do instead of surrendering. They pray and ask God for help, but then they try to control how He helps them. They ask for guidance but refuse to follow it if it's not what they expected. They say they trust God but panic when things don't go their way. That's not surrender. That's negotiation. Real surrender happens when you say, God, I give you everything. My plans, my dreams, my fears, my relationships, my career, my health, my future. Do with it whatever you want. I trust you completely. And when you finally do that, when you truly let go, miracles happen. Not because God suddenly decides to help you, but because you finally get out of His way and let Him work. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 7 powerful things that happen the moment you surrender to God. Some happen immediately. Others unfold over time. But all of them are transformational. Let's start with what happens first. Number 1, instant peace that surpasses understanding. The first thing that happens when you truly surrender to God is you experience instant peace that surpasses all understanding. The Bible promises this. It says, the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds. This isn't normal peace. This is supernatural peace that doesn't make logical sense based on your circumstances. Here's what this peace looks like. You stop fighting reality. When you surrender, you stop fighting against what is. You stop resisting your current situation. You accept where you are right now, trusting that God allowed it for a reason. This acceptance brings immediate peace. Your anxiety dissolves. All anxiety comes from trying to control things you can't control. The moment you surrender control to God, anxiety has no fuel. You're no longer carrying the weight of making everything work out. God's got it. You sleep better. When you're trying to control everything, your mind races at night going through scenarios, making plans, worrying about outcomes. When you surrender, your mind quiets. You sleep peacefully knowing God is handling it. You stop forcing solutions. Before surrender, you force things. You manipulate. You push. You try to make things happen in your timing. After surrender, you rest and trust. You take action when prompted but you don't force outcomes. External chaos doesn't disturb internal peace. This is the supernatural part. Your circumstances might still be challenging, but you have peace in the storm. People ask how you're so calm, and you can't even explain it. That's God's peace guarding your heart. I know someone who was facing bankruptcy, divorce, and a health crisis all at once. By all logic, she should have been falling apart. But after she finally surrendered everything to God, stopped trying to fix it all herself, she experienced the most profound peace of her life. She told me, "I don't know how this will work out, but I know God does." And that's enough. That's surrender peace. This peace isn't dependent on your circumstances changing. It comes from knowing that God is in control and He's working everything out for your good. You might not see it yet, but you know it's happening. The moment you stop carrying burdens that were never yours to carry, you feel lighter. The weight lifts. Your shoulders relax. You breathe deeper. That's surrender. But peace is just the beginning. Something else happens immediately. Number 2, divine guidance becomes clear. The second thing that happens when you surrender to God is that divine guidance suddenly becomes clear and unmistakable. Before surrender, you're trying so hard to figure out what to do that you can't hear God's voice. Your own thoughts, fears, and desires are too loud. But when you surrender and say, "Your will, not mine," God's guidance breaks through. Here's how divine guidance shows up after surrender. Your intuition strengthens. You start getting clear gut feelings about what to do. You just know. You can't always explain how you know, but you know. That's God guiding you through intuition. Doors open and close clearly. When you're forcing your own agenda, you're trying to kick down closed doors and ignoring open ones. After surrender, you trust God's doors. Closed doors are protection. Open doors are direction. The right people appear. After surrender, you meet people at exactly the right time who have exactly what you need: information, connections, opportunities, or support. These coincidences are actually God's guidance showing you the path. Confirmation signs appear. You'll think about something and then hear about it 3 different ways in one day. You'll pray about a decision and the answer appears in a sermon, a conversation, and a book all in the same week. God confirms His guidance. Peace accompanies right decisions. When you're considering an option that's God's will, you feel peace even if it's scary. When it's not God's will, you feel unsettled even if it looks good. This internal compass becomes reliable after surrender. You're led step by step. You don't need to see the whole staircase. God shows you the next step, you take it, then He shows you the next one. Before surrender, you wanted the full plan. After surrender, you trust the step-by-step guidance. The reason guidance becomes clearer after surrender is simple: you finally want to hear it. Before surrender, you were asking God to bless your plans. After surrender, you're asking for His plans. That's the difference. Think about GPS. If you're constantly overriding the GPS directions because you think you know a better route, the GPS becomes useless. But when you commit to following it exactly, it leads you perfectly. That's what surrender does. You finally stop overriding God's directions. I knew a man who was tormented trying to decide between 2 job offers. He made pro-con lists. He asked everyone's opinion. He lost sleep. Nothing felt clear. Finally, he surrendered and said, "God, I'll take whichever one you want me to have. Show me." Within 24 hours, one opportunity fell through unexpectedly. God closed the door clearly. The man took the other job and it became the best decision of his career. After surrender, you're not wandering anymore. You're being led. And being led by God is better than leading yourself any day. But clarity and peace are just the beginning. Watch what happens next. Number 3, impossible things start happening. The third thing that happens when you surrender to God is that impossible things start happening in your life, things that defy logic and explanation. When you're trying to do everything yourself, you're limited to your own abilities, resources, and connections. But when you surrender to God, you tap into unlimited divine power. Suddenly, things that seemed impossible become possible. Here's what this looks like. Unexpected provision appears. You need money, and it shows up from an unexpected source. Someone offers to pay something. You get a refund you forgot about. A check arrives. After surrender, God provides in ways you never could have orchestrated yourself. Miraculous healing occurs. Physical, emotional, or spiritual healing happens that doctors or therapists couldn't explain. Symptoms disappear. Pain leaves. Depression lifts. After surrender, God's healing power flows more freely because you're not blocking it with control. Relationships are restored. Relationships that seemed dead come back to life. People who hurt you have a change of heart. Broken families reconcile. After surrender, God does the relational work you couldn't force no matter how hard you tried. Opportunities appear from nowhere. Jobs you didn't apply for are offered. Business deals you didn't pursue come to you. Opportunities find you. After surrender, God opens doors you didn't even know existed. Your enemies help you. People who opposed you suddenly help you or get out of your way. Obstacles remove themselves. Critics become silent. After surrender, God fights battles for you that you couldn't win yourself. Divine timing becomes obvious. Things that wouldn't have worked before now work perfectly. You realize that delays you resented were actually divine timing positioning everything perfectly. After surrender, you see God's perfect choreography. The Bible is full of impossible stories that happened after surrender. The Red Sea parted. Walls fell. The sick were healed. The dead were raised. These weren't random miracles. They happened when people surrendered to God's will and got out of the way. In your life, impossible doesn't mean will never happen. It means I can't make this happen. And that's exactly the point. When you surrender, you acknowledge you can't. But God can. I know a woman who was told by doctors she'd never have children. She tried everything for years, treatments, procedures, alternative medicine. Nothing worked. Finally, exhausted and heartbroken, she surrendered. She told God, if I'm meant to be a mother, you'll have to do it. I can't anymore. She stopped all treatments and focused on accepting her life as it was. 3 months later, she conceived naturally. The doctors had no medical explanation. That's what happens after surrender. The impossible becomes possible because you're no longer working in your own strength. You're operating in God's power. And His power has no limits. But miracles aren't even the best part. Watch what happens inside you. Number 4, your identity shifts from doing to being. The fourth thing that happens when you surrender to God is a profound shift in your identity, from doing to being. Before surrender, your identity was based on what you do, what you achieve, what you control, and what you accomplish. After surrender, your identity is rooted in whose you are, a beloved child of God. Here's how this shift changes everything. You stop proving your worth. Before surrender, you're constantly trying to prove you're good enough, to yourself, to others, to God. After surrender, you know you're already loved and accepted. You don't need to prove anything. You're already enough. Your value becomes unshakable. Before surrender, your value fluctuates based on success or failure. After surrender, your value is constant because it's based on God's love, not your performance. Win or lose, you're valued. You stop living for approval. Before surrender, you need people's approval, validation, and praise. After surrender, God's approval is enough. You're free from the exhausting need to please everyone. You work from rest, not for rest. Before surrender, you work hard hoping to eventually rest. After surrender, you rest in God's love and work flows from that rest. You're no longer driven by proving yourself. Failure doesn't destroy you. Before surrender, failure feels like identity death. After surrender, failure is just feedback and redirection. Your identity isn't tied to outcomes, so you're free to fail forward. You become instead of try to become. Before surrender, you're constantly trying to become somebody. After surrender, you realize you already are somebody, a child of God. Now you just become more fully yourself. This is one of the most liberating aspects of surrender. You're no longer performing for God or trying to earn His love. You already have it. Now you live from that reality instead of trying to get to that reality. Think about children. A child doesn't try to earn their parents' love by achieving things. They already have it. They just enjoy the relationship and grow naturally. That's what surrender creates. You stop working for God's love and start working from God's love. The Bible says, "Be still and know that I am God." That "be still" isn't just about being quiet. It's about ceasing from striving, performing, and trying to prove yourself. It's resting in the knowledge that God's got you. I knew a man who was a workaholic, constantly chasing the next achievement to feel valuable. He burned out completely. In that burnout, he finally surrendered and told God, "I have nothing left to offer. If you want to use me, you'll have to rebuild me." In the months of rest that followed, he discovered his identity wasn't in what he did but in who he was. When he returned to work, he worked differently, with joy instead of desperation, from rest instead of striving. His productivity actually increased because he wasn't exhausted anymore. After surrender, you stop doing to become and start being so you can do. That shift changes everything. But there's something even more powerful that happens. And most people never talk about it. Number 5, you start losing what's not meant for you. The fifth thing that happens when you surrender to God, and this one surprises people, is that you start losing things that aren't meant for you. This sounds negative, but it's actually a blessing. When you surrender to God and say, "Your will, not mine," He starts removing from your life everything that's blocking His plans for you. Here's what this looks like. Wrong relationships end. Friendships or romantic relationships that were holding you back suddenly end. It might hurt, but later you realize they were blocking the right people from entering your life. God removes them to make space. Toxic jobs end. You get fired or laid off from a job that was killing you slowly. At the time it feels terrible. Later you realize that job was keeping you from your purpose. God removed you from the wrong place to position you for the right place. False opportunities close, doors you were trying to kick down slam shut. Plans you wanted desperately fall through. You're devastated. Until later when you see that path would have been a disaster. God closed doors to protect you. Your old life crumbles. After surrender, pieces of your old life might fall apart, not because you're being punished, but because God is rebuilding you. You can't pour new wine into old wineskins. God has to dismantle the old to create the new. People's true colors show. After surrender, fake people reveal themselves and remove themselves. This is painful but necessary. God exposes what was hidden so you can see clearly who should be in your life. Your attachments get challenged, things you were clinging to get removed or threatened. This tests whether you're truly surrendered or just saying you are. God knows what you're still white-knuckling and He lovingly loosens your grip. This is what the Bible calls pruning. A gardener prunes dead branches not to hurt the plant but to help it grow stronger. That's what God does after surrender. He removes what's dead or dying so you can flourish. The key is trusting that every loss after surrender is actually making space for something better. You wouldn't have room for the right things if the wrong things were still there. I know a woman who lost everything in 1 year after surrendering to God: her job, her relationship, her apartment, and most of her friends. She was devastated and questioned if surrendering was a mistake. 2 years later, she had a better job aligned with her gifts, a healthy relationship with her now husband, a beautiful home, and genuine friends who supported her growth. She needed to lose the wrong everything to gain the right everything. After surrender, don't panic when things leave. Don't fight to keep what's going. If God is removing it, it wasn't meant for you. Trust the process even when it hurts. Because what comes after the losing is the best part. Watch what happens when the space is cleared. Number 6, God's perfect timing unfolds. The sixth thing that happens when you surrender to God is that His perfect timing unfolds, and you see why everything happened exactly when it did. Before surrender, you're impatient. You want things now. You don't understand delays. You're frustrated by waiting. But after surrender, you trust divine timing completely. And then you start seeing the miraculous orchestration of events. Here's how divine timing reveals itself. Delays become obvious blessings. That job you didn't get last year, the one that just hired you, is better. That relationship that ended, you meet someone perfect 6 months later. The delays positioned you for something greater. Everything aligns perfectly. Multiple things come together at once that couldn't have before. The money arrives the day the opportunity appears. The skill you learn prepares you for an unexpected door. Nothing is wasted. Everything has purpose. You meet the right people at the right time. People enter your life at exactly the moment their presence is needed. Not before, when it wouldn't have worked. Not after, when it would be too late. Perfect timing. Your preparation meets your opportunity. You spent years developing skills or character traits that seemed useless. Then suddenly they're exactly what's needed for the opportunity in front of you. You were being prepared. Setbacks become setups. That failure that devastated you, it set you up for this success. That betrayal that broke you, it prepared you for this blessing. What looked like setbacks were actually setups for something better. You stop rushing. After surrender, you're not rushing anymore. You trust the pace. Fast doesn't mean better. God's timing is perfect timing, whether it's fast or slow. The Bible says, He has made everything beautiful in its time. Not in your time. In His time. And His time is always perfect when you look back. Before surrender, you're trying to force timing. After surrender, you flow with timing. You work when it's time to work. You wait when it's time to wait. You move when it's time to move. And you rest when it's time to rest. I knew a man who was bitter about being stuck in a low-paying job for years while his friends advanced. After surrendering his career to God, within 6 months he was offered a position that required the exact combination of skills he'd developed in that dead-end job plus character qualities he'd built through the frustration. No one else in the candidate pool had both. The years that seemed wasted were actually preparation. Divine timing. When you surrender, you stop fighting God's timeline and start trusting it. And when you look back, you see the perfection of every delay, every detour, and every too early or too late. It was all exactly right. But there's one more thing that happens after surrender. And it's the most powerful transformation of all. Number 7, you become who you were always meant to be. The seventh and most powerful thing that happens when you surrender to God is that you finally become who you were always meant to be. This is what all the other 6 points lead to. The peace, the guidance, the miracles, the identity shift, the pruning, the timing, all of it works together to transform you into your authentic, God-designed self. Here's what this transformation looks like. Your gifts fully emerge, talents and abilities you didn't know you had surface. Gifts that were dormant activate. You discover your purpose wasn't what you thought, it's something deeper and more aligned with who you really are. You walk in your calling. After surrender, you're not trying to force a calling or create purpose. Your calling finds you. Opportunities align with your gifts. Your work stops feeling like work because you're finally doing what you were designed to do. Authentic confidence develops, not arrogance or bravado, but quiet confidence rooted in knowing you're exactly where you're supposed to be, doing exactly what you're meant to do. You're not trying to be anyone else anymore. You impact others naturally. Your transformed life becomes a testimony. People are drawn to the peace, joy, and purpose they see in you. You don't have to try to influence others. Your surrendered life speaks volumes. You experience true joy, not happiness dependent on circumstances, but deep joy that comes from living aligned with God's plan. You're no longer fighting against your design or forcing yourself into molds that don't fit. You become free from the need to control, perform, or prove yourself. Free from fear of failure or rejection. Free to be fully yourself. Surrender doesn't imprison you, it liberates you. You see your life story make sense, all the pieces fit. Every pain had purpose. Every loss made space. Every trial built character. Every detour was direction. Your whole story becomes a testimony of God's faithfulness. This is what Jesus meant when he said, "Whoever loses their life for my sake will find it." When you surrender your life, your plans, control, and agenda to God, you find your real life. The life you were always meant to live. Most people live their whole lives as a lesser version of themselves because they never fully surrender. They're trying to write their own story instead of letting the author write it for them. And the author always writes better stories than we do. I know a woman who surrendered completely after hitting rock bottom. She told God, "I have nothing left to offer but my broken pieces. Do with them what you want." Over the next few years, God rebuilt her life in ways she never could have imagined. She's now a therapist helping others through the same struggles she overcame. Her pain became her purpose. Her mess became her message. Her surrender became her strength. That's what happens when you finally let go. You become the masterpiece God always intended you to be. Now you know the 7 powerful things that happen when you surrender to God. Instant peace. Clear guidance. Impossible miracles. Identity transformation. Necessary losses. Perfect timing. And becoming your true self. The question is, are you ready to surrender today? Right now. Let me walk you through how to truly surrender. Step 1, get honest. Admit to God where you've been trying to control. Name the areas you've been white-knuckling. Confess where you've been trusting yourself more than Him. Step 2, release your grip. Visualize yourself holding whatever you're clinging to, your plans, fears, relationships, career, health, future. Now imagine opening your hands and releasing it all to God. Step 3, speak your surrender. Say out loud, "God, I surrender everything to you. My life is yours. My plans are yours. I trust you completely. Your will, not mine. I let go. I give you full control." Step 4, trust the process. Know that surrender is daily. You'll need to surrender again tomorrow and the next day. Every time you catch yourself trying to control, surrender again. Step 5, watch for the 7. Pay attention to the 7 things we discussed. You'll start experiencing them. The peace will come first. The rest will follow. Surrender isn't a one-time event. It's a daily practice. A moment-by-moment choice to trust God over yourself. But the moment you take that first step of surrender, everything begins to change. Your life has been waiting for you to let go. God has been waiting for you to trust Him. The peace, guidance, miracles, transformation, and purpose you've been seeking are on the other side of surrender. So today, right now, let go. Stop trying to control everything. Stop forcing your own plans. Stop living in fear and anxiety. Just surrender. Give it all to God. And watch what happens. If this video spoke to you, if you're ready to surrender, comment, "I surrender," below. Let's create a community of people who are choosing trust over control, faith over fear, and God's plans over their own. Like this video and subscribe for more content on spiritual growth and transformation. Share it with someone who's been trying to control everything and needs to hear this message. Remember, surrender isn't weakness. It's the ultimate act of faith. And the moment you let go, you'll discover that God was holding you all along. Until next time, release your grip. Trust the process. And watch your life transform.